Warning, the following video contains drug use, foul language, and sexually explicit material. If you're easily offended by this stuff, I highly recommend that you don't watch this video. You have been warned. Viewer discretion is advised.
Don't you just hate how people say that animation's for kids, that cartoons are just made to appeal to children?
Well, I'd like you to sit those people down and show them this movie.
What's happening, man?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a raunchy one today. Fritz the Cat, an animated film that came out in 1972 that was not like any before it. It had sex, it had drugs, it had the fact that they tackled social issues at the time. It was so controversial that it was the first animated film to receive an X rating, or an NC-17 as it would be today. So does it truly deserve its rating? Well, put down your pills and bong and let's find out. Based off the comic strip by Robert Crumb, Fritz the Cat is about a sex-addicted, drug-addicted, self-centered, cool-talking cat who wants to live in the moment like every day is his last.
Man, I get that horny just thinking about it. Wow.
After a drug bust, Fritz is on the run and must escape west. On his way, he meets up with some very colorful characters, a crow named Duke, and yes, all the black people in this movie are crows, his girlfriend Winston, and a right-wing terrorist group, all while escaping two cops who happen to be pigs. I wonder if black cops in this universe are black pigs.
So what's the good parts of the movie? Well, the fact that it takes advantage of the rating. You can see who this was marketed towards, and it truly speaks to the counterculture of the late 60s and early 70s. The animation here is pretty interesting to look at, and I don't mean the sex scenes. They actually did a pretty good job with it. Mainly because they got Ralph Bakshi as director, who is known for the Lord of the Rings animated movies during the 70s, and it truly shows here. Fritz is actually pretty likable. He kind of comes off as adventurous and will act like he has no idea what's going on, but still he has the personality that many young people at the time had. I mean, he's more likable in the movie compared to the comic book where he's just a total dick. But here he does some, well, extremely questionable things and still kind of a dick, but not to an extreme. I also liked how they tackled social issues at the time. Heck, there are problems we still face today, such as racism and drug abuse. I also do love the music here. Having parents who grew up in this era and are very nostalgic about it and grew up listening to it, I do think it's pretty nice to listen to. Now, my only complaint is the voice acting here is pretty weak. Now, one may say it was the 70s and voice acting wasn't taken seriously, but if you look at Disney, they did a pretty good job with their voice acting. Now, with Fritz and Duke, it's pretty good. With other characters, it seems a bit forced. While with certain background characters, it sounds like they just recorded people on the street from a distance.
I don't want to sing, man. No, I'm good.
If you fight violence with violence, like the late Malcolm said, man, you're gonna get some results.
Why?
Really, because before this rioting and shit, you didn't have no Head Start programs.
Get the fuck off my car!
I don't think that was in a recording studio. I legitimately think someone was sitting on that dude's car. Aside from that, I highly recommend Fritz the Cat.
Think of it like a raunchy version of Zootopia. With good animation and how it reflects on the times, Fritz the Cat is actually a pretty good movie. Sadly, Robert Crumb, the creator of the comic, didn't share my feelings. Despite being faithful to the source material, Crumb hated the movie and even killed off Fritz in protest over creative differences with Ralph Bakshi. I heard about creators hating the movies based off their own work, but that seems a bit extreme. Oh well, I hope you find this movie as enjoyable as I did. And free loving, all that good stuff.
Far out.
She makes men into boys, she makes giants into men. She'll have you